Welcome back. All right. So, first off, our winner for this week, or rather, I guess from last week's videos, ended up being Katie Lesher. I did already record Katie's video. It is going to be right there in the description box. There's a free link. Anybody can watch it, of course. But I just put it as a separate video so that this isn't some huge, excessively long video. I just thought it would be nicer to do it that way. So, we're going to get into a specific message, and bear in mind these specific messages, I leave the comments on. And as I say that, let me make sure those comments are on. And if you guys would like to enter to win for next Monday's drawing, anytime you see a video that is one of these specific messages, like I said, it'll have the comments turned on, and then you guys can just go ahead and type the word heal, Heal. Well, I don't care how you spell it, however you want, but that was the intention, like the word heal, to enter for next week. I just thought it was a nice word. If we're going to put a word in the comments, let's make it be something that we could all find value in. And for this specific message right now, these are the ones where if something comes to my mind, I do a storyline that starts out that way. I was picturing somebody who had like a flower that was opening, blossoming, and blooming. And then I realized it was actually like fake, meaning it wasn't a real flower. It's like either made out of like something that was a non-living tissue. So it was kind of like a sci-fi-esque, it looked real at first. And then you're like, oh no, that's like totally made out of plastic. And oh God, I can't think of the anatomy of flowers right now. The stamen, is that right? Is like it's got rhinestones on it. It's not really a flower. And so I don't know if that is going to be a sci-fi story, or if that says something about a flower that is blooming, but it's not real. So like flowers for me usually represent love. It could be something feels superficial after all. By the way, you guys, I apologize for not doing this live. I prefer to do them always live and get a chance to talk to you guys and have some fun together. I am going through a tremendous amount of issues right now, and we're still unsure about where all the problems are with the internet, or if it's YouTube or so. Anyway, I apologize. I would normally be live with you right now. So that is my preference, but it's been a bad day. It's been a choppy day. So thank you for hanging in there with me as I still navigate all these ups and downs with the tech stuff. So with this Ace of Cups, if we have somebody with a blooming flower and it turns out to be made of plastic, the Ace of Cups is about love. But we do see somebody's eyeball is right here wide open. Is it possible that somebody's going to discover, like, okay, let's say this drink, it looks like, oh, maybe it's a gin and tonic. Maybe not. Maybe it's just tonic water and lime. That could be a surprise. Wow, that's not what I thought it was. That's clear. We can't tell what it could be. It could be an alcoholic beverage. It could be water. It could be fizzy water. Maybe that's just condensate and not really fizzy bubbles in it. You won't know till you taste it. And I mean, I think it's kind of a good metaphor. Like, you never know. Just because something looks like what you thought it was, it looks like the drink you ordered. Not if they put similar looking ingredients that aren't the right ones. Same thing. You fall in love with somebody, they seem to have all the attributes you want, but until you get to know the inside of their heart, you don't really know. We have a Knight of Cups. We got this ice cube that's melting up here. We get a lot of like beverage imagery going on here. Also some like geothermal spots, maybe some electron microscope spots. There could be a couple things here that are really being highlighted to a character. We have a Seven of Coins. It's going to take time. And I do think that we have a character that is either falling for somebody and like, oh my gosh, I really like this, but I'm not so sure who they are. And we have somebody who's like, I'm not sure. Are they good at spooning at night? I want somebody who spoons me nice. It could be like until we've had just a sleepover where it's purely like PG. I won't know for sure if I could sleep beside that person. There's so many things. Just because you feel like this person has a good heart, you still don't know what's inside of theirs. Just because they're showing attraction, they might be looking at our character under a microscope as well. It could be like, okay, we're getting to know each other, we're thawing out a little bit. Some of the veneer is coming off, and we're getting to know more and more, but that all takes time. So this feels like a relationship that is a character is in, but they're aware that I need to see this person like in every attitude, in every we have Ace of Wands. Okay, so the passion is definitely spiking. I feel like the more a character is getting to know another person, even though they don't know them that well yet, it's like, I mean, yes, there's passion, yes, there's desire, yes, there's significant attraction, which is beautiful. Eight of Swords, but I definitely feel like somebody is scared. Maybe we have like a feminine who's like, I promised myself I was, going to get to know the next person for 3 months before, we wind up moving a connection into a more physical realm. But this is tough because it's like, okay, there is, I feel like somebody's hypnotized. I don't know if somebody's got beautiful eyes because we see the eyeball here. We have that cobra. And it just kind of feels like it's really hard not to get hypnotized by desire. This is a very sensual card, which is why I have to cover so much of it. So we definitely could have maybe a feminine as our lead character who was saying, I don't want to let a relationship go into the realm of, hot-blooded passion before I get to know the quality of their heart. But it's really hard not to, obviously want to kind of like jump ahead. And I think that this is in spite of the best laid intentions, like not going to move too fast this time. But I think that there's a real temptation to do so. You know, sure, there's passion, there's desire. Two of Wands and Empress. Also, if these two haven't had like a direct conversation, and it almost looks like our feminine's been hiding a little bit of like what her intentions are. Like, I want to move really slow. I want to take a couple months to get to know you before we move further. But just so you know, I'm super attracted to you. Like, I'd like to move faster, but I really want to get to know your heart better before I know your physical self. Maybe she hasn't said that because it looks like she's hiding out, which is unusual for an Empress. Um, this could be the other person, and they're wondering, like, should I broach this subject? Does she want to talk about this subject? Am I moving too fast, too slow? It almost feels like we've got two people here that are trying to figure things out. Now, I will say this. She's an Empress. We don't know their status yet. We don't know. Are they an Emperor or Empress? Are they King, Queen? This is them wondering how they should proceed a little bit. But it could be that the Empress is like, I want them to treat me like an Empress without me having to ask them to. I want to see how they would handle a relationship with me. Just how will they do it? I don't want to tell them what they have to do. I want them to show me how they want to do things. We have an Ace of Cups. I think she doesn't want to say, look, I want to hear you say first that you love me, that you picture me as a great mother of your children or father of your children. But that's the Ace of Cups again. If that's really what it is, it's like she's saying, I wanted to, have somebody fall for me before we move into like a more physical connection. And I don't know how to say those words. Like, basically, I want to know that this means more. I want to know that you have a depth of emotion for me. I want to know that I'm somebody really special to you. But I shouldn't have to ask you that, because then it's like, how special am I? We get the Knight of Swords. If she heard those words, it would be like green light. It'd be like, of course she wishes she could fast forward and get to the point of, okay, we've established it. I know I'm special. They know I'm special. We're doing this. This is fantastic. But I think this is the one thing she's not willing to say. Yeah, the Hierophant, everything says, I'm going to keep my peace. I'm going to let this person proceed and show me who I am to them a little bit. And it doesn't mean that she's being a cold fish or anything like that. She probably isn't at all. In fact, she might be given mixed signals to a little extent, because these two, there is we have two pretty lusty cards. This is all about passion and desire, and this particular card actually is also that Eight of Swords. but it's like never letting the passion and the desire get too far out of hand. Let's go over to what's on their mind in all this. Are they understanding like what she's getting at without saying it? Are they understanding her behavior? Ace of Cups in the reverse, but the Two of Cups upright, and the Ten of Wands. You know, the topic of giving love, asking about love, they're it's weird because they're not thinking of it like even the word love. They're experiencing a bond with her that is like, oh my God, I feel so melded to her, so comfortable with her, so like I can't wait for Halloween because we're going to go in a couple's costume, and oh my God, it works so good together, and I feel so relaxed with her, and I feel so comfortable with her. And it's like they haven't had it click that they might be already head over heels in love with her. But in truth, I actually think that their emotions are way deeper than that, if that makes sense. You know, to say, I love you might actually sound, even to their own ears, that would be like, no, it's so much more than that. It's like, this is the person that I feel this deep seated comfort zone with that I don't have with anybody else. Like, this is a 1 in a billion. We have the Tower. Okay, they are starting to have a breakthrough. I think that they've been experiencing this tremendous bond with her and comfort zone with her in a way that has like just made them feel very safe, very secure, very comfortable. But then they haven't yet been able to talk about the concept of love, and maybe it hasn't even crossed their mind to say that. They are starting to realize, hang on, there is something that she's missing from me. And of course, if they feel this tapped into her, they're definitely going to notice that there's, one area that she like shies away from, which could be, you know, going too far into passion without, some kind of like declaration of like what this means to me. That's what it feels like. She wants to know, does this mean something though, for sure to you? Like, basically, you do see me as an empress, right? Okay, it's clicking for them. The way she hasn't been playing games, but she hasn't like laid it out and said, here's the answer that you need to tell me. Um, so we can get busy. It's not like that. I don't know if I'm finding very nice vocabulary to describe something that is actually like, it makes so much sense in my head, but I don't know if I'm saying it out loud very well. She's an empress. She wants to know that they see her as an empress, but you can't stand there and say, see me as an empress, like that, because then it's just like, yeah, like, well, what would their answer be? Um, it's that they need to demonstrate somehow. They need to put something into this instead of just their comfort zone that they're having, which, I mean, that's huge, right? These two are vibing, but they're, look, humans have vocabulary as well. So maybe they're finally realizing, I need to say something. I need to make sure she understands how I see her. I'm realizing I haven't made it clear to her how happy she makes me, how happy I hope I make her, how important this is. I'm, I'm recognizing she's been holding back. I've been a little bit confused about what's going on, but now I'm realizing, wait a minute, I'm adoring her, loving spending time with her, but I haven't conveyed that to her maybe in a way that lets her know that. Queen of Swords, they are realizing, I need to say words. Of course, now I'm hearing more than words is all I need. It's all you need to do. Then I wouldn't have to say, or then you wouldn't have to say that you love me because I'd already know. We have the Magician. We have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so we have possibly a masculine who is like brainstorming, and they're kind of excited about this now. I wonder, let me think, what would be the best way to show her how I feel? Because this is a very spiritual connection. This is something that they really want. This is something very important to them, but it's also very earthly, and they want it to be very earthly. Like, I have a spiritual bond with you, and I want a very physical connection with you. You know what? I think what he's realizing is, if I haven't said, you're the queen that I want to be the king to, That might summarize it all. That's like, okay, that's not even like, hey, will you be my boyfriend, girlfriend? This is like, will you be my divine counterpart? Because that's how I see you. You are the queen to my king. You make me want to be a king or a queen so that I can match your king or queen. This is like, I mean, maybe it's a marriage proposal, but I feel like it's something a little different because they're trying to find the right words to describe how they feel. And I think that they're going to do it in a slightly more poetic way because of brainstorming. How do I make it make sense that it's so much more than like, I love you? It's more like, my God, you were like made for me. But I still feel like they're trying to describe it in, I mean, I think this is a great way. You know, you are my queen, I am your king. You know, it doesn't matter what gender. This could be same-sex couple just as easily as reverse gender roles. But this could be the same. We are a match. We have a Four of Swords. He may also need to convey, and if he hasn't spoken these words before, because this can be silence, um, it may even be that he needs to explain that also. Remember, he had that 10 of Wands along with the Two of Cups. It's like, if only she knew how much she'd saved me. If only she knew how much lighter my and brighter my energy in life is since I've met her. This feels like a very meaningful, very sweet, and more profound way to tell somebody that you love them. Because in truth, we haven't seen them say, you know, I love you. We've seen them say, you are the divine counterpart match. You were the person that has, you know, made such an impact in my life. I haven't ever felt so comfortable with someone, or you know, these kinds of words. The things that he's got to say are like really, really meaningful. Nine of Coins. This could still be something where it's like, I don't have all the words. You're gonna just have to give me time, like a lot of time. Like, do you think you could pencil me in for the next 35 years? So I could like show you how I feel about you. Like that might be the way he says it instead, to say, I'm here for the long haul. Could you, do you think for me to explain to you, I'm going to need time? Do you think 20 or 30 or maybe 60 years could do? Do you think you could give me the time and then maybe I could explain to you how I feel? That right there says it all, right? This feels very, very sweet, but he's realizing these are the things that he needs to say. I believe these two are going to be very, very, very happy together. These two are, this is a very elevated relationship, and I think everything is coming together just as it should. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Maybe I could have done this one live, I don't know, but it held together for us. So lots of love, and I hope I will see you guys tomorrow evening, okay? Take care. Bye for right now.